Hello again from Surigao del Sur, Mindanao, Philippines. My name is Herman Frank, by the way, and I am an attorney. I'm licensed in the state of California. I wanted to comment once again on the ICC case, International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands, proceedings against Mr. Duterte. First, let me just state my overall position on this. Mr. Duterte will be acquitted of all charges, so don't despair. And as illegal as everything seems, he will be granted his day in court, and when he is there, he will win. He's got a great legal team, recently appointing an ICC specialist attorney from London, Cambridge law grad, super brainiac guy, plus a Philippines team of lawyers. And I think it's important to have both, because a primary defense in this case is that what Mr. Duterte did was legal in Philippines. And let's not forget, they had Senate hearings. Mr. Duterte appeared in front of the Senate. He explained what he did, why he did it. He said very clearly, I am the one responsible for it. And what he was saying is, if it's right or wrong, it falls on me. Notice, nobody prosecuted him in Philippines. There was no prosecution. Everybody knew what was going on here. Everybody realizes there's no denial from Mr. Duterte. He has been very clear about it, and yet nobody prosecuted him. So what does that tell you, right? This is what it tells me as a lawyer. If it were a violation of law, he would have been prosecuted. He wasn't prosecuted. That means it was not a violation of law. And if it's not a violation of law here in Philippines, it's not a violation in The Hague, Netherlands. It's not like you have to obey two levels of law. It's either legal or it's not legal. So he's going to be found not guilty. So please don't despair. Now, one of the things that I was a little bit angry about was somebody wrote that his Philippine lawyer team isn't so good, and they're like amateuristic or whatever, and they're fish out of water. Well, let's be clear about this. They're in The Hague, Netherlands, coincidentally, where my ancestors come from. I'm Dutch. And I've been to that court. I am a member of that court. In order to practice law before that court, you need to be a licensed attorney in good standing in your jurisdiction. That's all. Okay? So the Philippine team, they are licensed Philippine lawyers in good standing. They were admitted to practice before that court. So they have all the qualifications needed. This whole idea that you should have something else, untrue. The other issue is somebody mentioned that he was acting disrespectful to the court. What he said in court, and I thought it was excellent, he demanded proof that the court complied with Article 59, I have it right here in front of me, of the what's called the Rome Statute, which created the court. As a coincidence, I was at the United Nations the day that this law was passed in Rome. It's called the Rome Statute. It was done, I was there on an ag project. It was the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations building that was the host of the ICC court. It was kind of weird. It's like a place where you talk about food and agriculture, and here they're doing war crimes. I was there that day, and I saw it all happen. It was like, whoa. Article 59 says, a person arrested shall be brought promptly before the competent judicial authority in the custodial state, which shall determine, in accordance with the law of that state, that the warrant applies to that person. The person has been arrested in accordance with the proper process, and the person's rights have been respected. I want to tell you in the law, the word shall, it says a person arrested shall be brought. That word shall is mandatory. It means no exception. It means you must. It's like, what part of shall don't you understand, right? And what the attorney was referring to the judges was that didn't happen. And what he demanded was proof that either it happened or that there's some exception. And you know what? There is no exception. Shall means must. And it doesn't say unless the following. There's no exception to this, okay? He demanded proof that had been complied with or that there was some exception. You know what the judges did when he said that to them? Nothing. They 100% ignored it. You know, there's a there's a rule in law that applies to that situation, and it goes like this: silence can be inferred. An inference from silence is a confession. And right then and there, the judges, by not responding to it, basically confessed that Article 59 was not complied with. They basically admitted it. I mean, they know it hasn't been complied with. The legal team had every right to demand proof, either of compliance or some exception that they're not aware of. If the judge had an idea of an exception, they should give it, but they didn't. They were just silent. The court violated Section 59 for sure. And because of that, the question becomes, well, what's the remedy? What the court said is, oh, you'll have a chance later to address that. And it's like, no, that ought to be addressed right now. They set a different kind of hearing for September, which is called a confirmation hearing. In USA, we call that a probable cause hearing. It means there is good reason to believe that Mr. Duterte committed a crime. And that hearing will be evidentiary in nature. It'll be very interesting. But before then, the whole arrest, if there was a wrongful arrest of a defendant in the state of California, that defendant would bring that issue up immediately, not after trial. You do it now. The court said we can do it later. They should push it now and get that arrest declared unlawful. The result of that wouldn't be to end the case. It would be to send Mr. Duterte back to Philippines, have him stand in front of a judge in Philippines and make whatever arguments he would have that he should not be extradited. That step was skipped, and it should not have been. I hope they raise it and get it, bring it to a head in front of the ICC court. Thank you for listening.